Okay, it is Luxury Fred, and this week I am behind the wheel of definitely what you would call a luxury vehicle. This is the Mercedes GLS450. So the GLS is the largest of the SUVs that's not that big G-Wagon. So they have a couple other models that I'll talk about more in detail. And this is their full-size SUV, and this is the 2018 model, is $69,500. And something that's very interesting is that this is a rental car. I rented this just kind of coincidentally from National Rent-A-Car. It's part of their luxury fleet here in Palm Springs is where I rented it. And when I reserved it, I actually reserved a Cadillac XTS. No offense to Cadillac, but they had this available and I've never driven one, so I got this. The interesting thing is that as a car reviewer and someone that writes about cars, I get a lot of these loan cars from the different manufacturers, and the loan cars are always the top of the line model, and they always have every possible option because they want you to experience the best possible version of that car. This is the opposite. For whatever reason, because this is a rental car, this has absolutely no options. And when I mean no options, and hold on, I need to turn on the air, it's really hot. When I say no options, try to turn the fan down, okay. When I say no options, this is a $70,000 SUV that does not have adaptive cruise control. It doesn't have the little blind spot monitor that lights up in the side view mirrors. It has none of those options. Now, all those things are available, and I'll talk a little bit more in detail about all the different options, but to really have this feel like a modern luxury SUV with lane keep assist and automatic braking and adaptive cruise control and blind spot monitors and rear cross traffic alert and all that kind of stuff, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you have to spend another $10,000+ on top of the $69,000. Now, that's kind of the negative part. The positive part is this is an amazing, wonderful SUV to drive, and it really feels luxurious. It floats down the freeway. It has a 362 horsepower V6 bi-turbo, twin turbo, and gives you a 7,500 pound towing capacity, but it really moves. I'm going to put it in the sport mode here. I was in the comfort mode, and it really flies. You also have paddle shifters, has a 9-speed transmission. Again, I'll get into more of the details, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what it's like to drive. And let me give you a little so again, full-size Mercedes SUV, but in the sport mode, you have incredible amount of power and very responsive transmission and all that kind of stuff. It really changes the persona of the car. So if you want an amazing, smooth riding, full-size SUV, I think this really is a great option, and I would never have said that until I driven it. Okay, so I'm going to use my notes so I know that what I'm talking about here. So as I said, this is the GLS 450, and as you may know, Mercedes, the SUVs start with GLA, GLC, then GLE, then the GLS, then the G-Class, and in the GLS, in this full-size form, you have this, which is the GLS 450, which has that twin-turbo V6. Then you have a GLS 550 that has the V8 engine, and then at the top of the line, you have an AMG GLS 63, and that has the AMG engine. So this car is $70,000. The GLS450 is $94,950, and the AMG is $125,000. So let me give you a tour of the outside of the GLS. Okay, so let's, sorry about the wind here, but let's take a quick look at the outside. Again, this is the full size, other than the G-Wagon, Mercedes SUV. You've got room for 7. I'll show you the inside in a second. But we have, you know, it's not a new shape, but they do seem to update it every year. This is the white color. And again, you can see that you have a very nice full-size SUV. It's not flashy other than the Mercedes badges. And just getting a good idea of the profile of the car. Okay. It says the 19-inch wheels, which are the standard wheels. Some of the option packages, you can get 20-inch wheels. And now, here's a look at the inside. And see what you get for $70,000. So we do have nice wood trim and kind of offsetting colors. The inside material is not leather, it's MB Tex. You can obviously get upgraded leather seats. But these are comfortable and very durable and washable. So starting over here, you have your window controls, very good fit and finish, very good feel on everything. Seat controls here, headlamp controls over here. This is your windshield wiper controls here. The cruise control is the little lever back there. There's also a little lever that is for the steering wheel adjustment. It does come with the paddle shifters that are steering wheel mounted. This lever over here is your gear change lever. It does come with a 9-speed, what Mercedes calls a 9G-tronic transmission. Very nice, basic yet stylish gauge cluster and instrument display and instrument panel there. Moving on, we don't have the phone on this, but we have volume control and radio control there. You have your media and infotainment system. You have a nice big screen up there. Seat warmers, traction control off, hazard lights, auto start, parking sensors off, and seat warmer for the other side. So even though this car doesn't have a lot of options, you don't have a lot of empty buttons here. This is more control for the infotainment system, or to turn the screen off, to go back, to select, and to move it around. This is some of your four-wheel drive, so to speak, settings. This raises the car if you want it at a higher height. And this, I assume, I'm not sure what DSR stands for, but when I push it, it says 4 miles per hour. Usually that's some kind of automated hill descending speed, so that you can take your foot off the accelerator, and on an incline, it will go automatically 4 miles an hour. And then you have the drive mode settings here. You have a individual setting that you can customize however you want. You have a sports setting that really maximizes that bi-turbo V6 engine. Comfort setting is great on the freeway. Then you have a snow setting, which gives you more traction. And finally, a kind of off-road hill climbing selection there. You have your climate controls there. You have a big cup holders along with a lighter right there, and then your center console here lifts up, and you can see you have a nice spacious center console there. Again, wood trim throughout, so even on this basic, so to speak, model, you have a very nice fit and finish. Up here you have your light controls, you have a very big sunroof, which is standard. And then you have your controls for contacting Mercedes. That leads into some of the options that you can get. They call it Embrace connectivity, and there's a range of subscriptions that you can subscribe to. It's mainly, there's concierge related services where you can call and there's someone always available for directions, and it automatically updates the maps and things like that. Then there's security options, or kind of a suite of security services that you can get, where it's everything from, it'll tell you if your kids are driving the car, you can see on an app how fast they went, you can control the speed setting and limit speeds and things like that. And then the other option for the Embrace stuff is entertainment, where you can get a Wi-Fi hotspot. The car becomes a Wi-Fi hotspot. You get HD radio and internet radio and some things like that. Again, that's all optional. The other thing I wanted to talk about, like I said, is this car is the basic level with no options whatsoever. To really make it a luxury SUV, you have to spend another $10,000. You need what's called the active curve system with adaptive damping. That's $3,700. You need the Premium 1 package. That gives you the blind spot monitor, lane keep assist, and also Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It does not come with that. You need to get that as part of one of those packages. So that's the active damping is $3,700. The premium package is $3,830. Driver assist package gives you lane keep assist and pre-safe braking, active cruise control, and steering pilot. That's $2,250. Parking assist is $1,290, etc., etc., etc. So all that kind of stuff adds up. It does have an emergency braking thing that when the cars stop in front of you, like on the freeway, it starts to beep, and it does have some kind of proximity sensor as you're parking, when you're getting too close to a wall, or when you're in traffic and you're getting too close to the car in front of you. So now let's take a look at the rest of the interior. Okay, so hopefully it's not too windy out here. So as I was talking about, that's my assistant director Mario up there. As I was talking about, this SUV seats 7 people, 2, 3, 2, and the back seat is very functional, very easy to use. So if someone wants to get in the back seat, you use the lever down here, pull it up, 60/40 seat, it folds forward like that. That becomes some of the cargo room. Then if you want to put it even more forward, you see that handle, pull it up, and kind of with hydraulics, it moves forward like that. So now you can step in to get to the rear seats here, okay? So now you're in the rear seat. You can keep this like this. You can put both of these seats forward. It's very configurable depending on how you want to use it. So now we can get in, and then once you're in, the seat, again with kind of hydraulics, goes back down. Now you do have the ability to control the third row seats individually back here. So if I pull that, then that folds down. And if I pull that one, then that folds down. And then that gives us the full access to the cargo area. So I'll go on the other side real quick. And then you can see, again, 60/40. Then if we want to put this down too, we use the lever down here, pull it up, and then this has the same control for someone to get in the back, and it comes up again with hydraulics to help it up and down. And then we can put this back down, and then this gives you the full cargo capacity, which is 93.5 cubic feet of cargo space. Then for that third row of seats, you have additional controls over here on this side. Same thing. So if we pull that, one seat comes up, and then both seats come up like that. So very configurable. And we can put this back, and then the headrest just kind of pops up like that. And then there's a little area, and you push it down like that to push it back down. Okay? Now you have, in the back seats here, you have a 12-volt charger, and you have a little kind of storage area or something like that for your phone. This does not have dual climate control or anything like that, but you do have vents back here. The third row of seats does not have any outlets or USB connections for charging. All you have in that third row is cup holders. And then you can see again, those are the switches there from the driver's side door to operate the rear seats. And then here in the back, you do have power liftgate. So the GLS does come with an interesting kind of wind, something that helps you in the wind, which is good. Again, the amazing thing about this car, I think, is the engine and the power and the speed. Especially when you put it in a sport mode, it becomes a big sporty SUV. Seats 7 people. Again, I'm sorry, you just saw the interior tour. And, you know, I just had like the Yukon Denali, the GMC, and no comparison in terms of the build quality and the ride and all that kind of stuff. This is a big SUV, but it has that German tightness and engineering and technology and things like that. And you can feel it whether you're being very aggressive with it or whether you are just cruising with the cruise control, which is not adaptive cruise control. You're just cruising with cruise control on the freeway. It just glides along, glides along. It does have the automatic start-stop, which you can turn off, and show you what it's like off the line. 0 to 60 time is 5.6 seconds, which again is pretty good for a full-size SUV. That seats 7 people. I have the window sticker here from the GLS450 4MATIC. And first, as you can see, as I was saying before, suggested retail is $69,550, and the only option that this has, which I didn't know, is the Parktronic with active parking assist for $970, the $995 destination and delivery charge, bringing the total to $71,315. I'm sorry, $71,515, with no other options on this SUV. Also, as you can see, the paint is polar white. The interior is ginger beige with espresso brown, which, as I said before, is the MB text, not leather. And then, as I showed you on the doors and the dash, we have very nice eucalyptus wood trim. Okay, so just wanted to show that. And the other thing, I always like to talk about where these cars are made. Obviously, this is a Mercedes and it's made in Germany, but these GLS SUVs are assembled here in the US at a Mercedes plant in Vance, Alabama. Okay, so that is it. That concludes my video review and drive of the Mercedes-Benz GLS450. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, go ahead and click like on the video. Leave me a comment. Tell me what cars you want me to review. And of course, subscribe to my channel for great luxury travel and luxury car content. And you can see my full review of the GLS450 at businesstravelerusa.com.